This feels like a dream, a golden opportunity for a team with championship aspirations, led by the league's most respected superstar, and the undeniable truth that nobody wants to disappoint Steph Curry. What's going on, everybody? I'm Houston Mo. You're watching Warriors Digest, and today we're going to talk about what I believe to be the number one most important piece that will lead the Golden State Warriors back to the promised land. And before we break that down, I want to remind you guys to hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for 14,000 subscribers. Really appreciate you guys tuning into these videos, hitting that subscribe button to not only support us, but also ensure that you guys never miss out on a video. Go down below, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell to turn on notifications to never miss out on any content here on Warriors Digest. Your Golden State Warriors Dub Nation is 4-1. A very hot start to this season, but a tough stretch coming up here, kicking off on the road. Bucks, then Pacers. 8 tough games, hopefully ending in a solid record. Folks, this has been a fun season so far, but there's one particular thing that has stood out to me, and it was in that quote from Nick Friedel talking about this truth, that nobody wants to disappoint Steph Curry. So how does that play into this team actually playing better? Well, it's the truth that there is a commitment to winning basketball and a commitment to playing as hard as you can at all times for the Golden State Warriors, because Steph Curry, he's aging, folks. There's that famous clip you've probably seen all over TikTok and Instagram and Snapchat, whatever socials you're using, and it's that clip where the reporter asks Steph Curry, she says, "Steph, you look tired. Are you tired?" And Steph says, "I'm getting old." And then it usually goes into an emotional, clip about all these aging superstars and all this stuff. But when it's the case of Steph and Curry, it really is the understanding that, hey, we're never going to see a talent like this ever again. Sure, we're seeing new talents. We're seeing a Nikola Jokic put up consistent triple-doubles, and shoot three-pointers from the center position like we've never seen. We're seeing a guy like Victor Wembanyama, who's standing at 7'6", has a skill set that rivals Kevin Durant and is dominating people like Shaq. We've seen players like that start to emerge, but we're never going to see a player that shoots the ball like Steph Curry. We just won't. And if we do, it will be in honor of Wardell Stephen Curry and what he has done for this league over the many years. And when you look at this roster and you look at the ways that younger guys like Will Richard and Pods and some of the other younger guys, Quinten Post, for example, are playing, you can see that whenever they make a big play, whenever something happens that tilts the winning factor in the Warriors' favor, right, for that particular night, the first instinct is to go to Steph Curry. The first instinct is to look at the bench and see Steph Curry off of the bench with a towel over his head, clapping the guys on, overjoyed because he understands, hey, we're getting towards the end of this. We are having one last opportunity. Although Steve Kerr doesn't call this year the last dance, maybe it'll be next year or the year after. There's a reason Horford and Jimmy and Steph all just signed extensions to be here for a little bit longer. But there is this overarching understanding that people sort of are trying to ignore, right? Steph Curry's going to play forever, all this type of stuff. And it's like, the truth is, guys, we don't know how much longer we have this for Steph Curry. And the roster and the franchise and the organization is leaning into that perfectly. I love the fact that Jimmy Butler and Buddy Hield and Post and Horford and Dre are playing their butts off, and they're playing hard every single possession because they know, how long am I going to get to play with Stephen Curry for the foreseeable future? I don't know. I'm unsure. That there was no promises of how many opportunities you're going to get to step on the floor with 30. A guy who's done things at the NBA level that no one has ever done before. A 2-time MVP, a 4-time champion, that 2022 finals, one of the most important finals performances we will ever see. A finals MVP, a should-be 2-time finals MVP. Shout out Andre Iguodala. We respect you for what you did against LeBron in that 2015 series, but let's be honest, Steph dominated as well. It should have gone to him. A guy that has done things on the basketball floor at this level, like I said, that we have truly never seen. To quote Stephen A. Smith, the greatest shooter that God ever created, right? And there's this feeling in your bones watching the games this season that Steph knows it too. There's a reason he's playing with an aggression on the offensive side of the ball, but also on the defensive side of the ball, that he knows, hey, I don't know how many more runs I have at this, so I'm going to do everything I can to take this dream and turn it into a reality. And I have to agree with Jim Park here, something that this is A-plus take. If you watch Steph Curry's defense, it is super clear there has never been a superstar of his age playing defense at the caliber he's playing, especially at point guard. Everyone at every position declines in defensive ability by age 37. Not Steph, a huge reason why the Warriors can still contend. I would make the argument that Stephen Curry is a better defender now than he ever has been in his career. He's stronger. He looks faster. He's making decisions defensively better. He had a play against James Harden, arguably the greatest offensive talent we've ever seen from an ISO perspective. Steph Curry picks his pocket, we're out in transition, we get a bucket. Steph Curry is committing to off the ball getting steals, right? He's averaging stocks at a high level to start this season. And this is something that I think has been incredibly underrated under Stephen Curry's career, is his ability to play defense at a high level. So it's not only the fact that the other guys are having a huge commitment to winning basketball and doing everything they can to make this last dance, these last couple of seasons for Steph Curry so special, but it's Steph saying too, hey, you guys carry your load, I promise you I will carry mine, offensively, and as we've seen, defensively as well. The Warriors are in a great spot. 4-1, now a 51% favorite to win the Pacific Division. Clippers are going to be the only team that's really competing with us. Suns and Kings I don't think will have great years. Maybe sneak into the playoffs, but unlikely. And then the Lakers with all the injury issues to LeBron, now Luka, I don't think they're going to contend as much as they would have initially thought. So the Warriors are in a great position. We just have to find a way to finish. Let's take a look at these stats so far from the beginning of the season and just the commitment on every side of the ball to get things done. Steph Curry so far averaging through just 30 minutes a game, very low. If we can keep him at that every single night, if he can have 18 minutes where he's sitting on the bench, I will be overjoyed for the whole season. 27 points per game, 4 rebounds a game, 5 assists per game. Playing at an MVP level. Sure, there are other guys who are averaging 40 at this point between Luka and Shea and Wembanyama, but those numbers will even out. Steph Curry's going to be in that race. He will be a top 5 MVP candidate this season. Are averaging about 2.5 stocks per game. Fouls and turnovers have been low for the most part. And then he's shooting 50, 40, 100. Folks, he hasn't missed a free throw so far through 5 games. And it makes you wonder, is there a chance we'll see a season of Steph Curry where he doesn't miss a free throw? He's about a 91 around that mark for his career. And you start to wonder, we're through 5 games, he's not really shooting that many free throws. Is there a legitimate opportunity that we see an entire 82-game season where Steph doesn't miss a free throw? Unfortunately, because I'm saying this all, he'll probably miss a free throw tonight against the Milwaukee Bucks, which is infuriating because it's the announcer's jinx, per usual, as a former broadcaster. And as watching Reggie Miller and all these guys do it for years, typically when you bring up a shooting percentage, that player is bound to miss the next shot. It's just simply how it goes. But yeah, I love the fact that we're favored to win the Pacific Division. I love the fact that the guys are playing at a high level. And then when you look at from a statistical category, Jimmy Butler as well has been so good. 22 points per game, about 4.5 to 5 rebounds and assists per game. Defensively, playing well as well, and then shooting the 3-ball incredibly well. His best start to his 3-point shooting stroke in his career. He's shooting it confidently. Obviously, that's not where we want to see Jimmy. We want to see him in the paint, being aggressive, shooting mid-ranges, dishing the ball at 5 assists per game. But I tell you what, I have confidence for Jimmy Butler behind the arc right now. When he shoots it from out there, I feel good about it every single time. And for the most part, he has been shooting very well, 80% on corner threes to kick things off. And at 36, man, I've been really impressed with what Jimmy Butler's been able to do this early through this season. And I'm very excited to see how he continues to progress. And then the height, 6'7", just because I saw it, I felt like I had to do it. For all of my older viewers, I apologize for making that joke, but let's just move on. And then Jonathan Kuminga. Points per game, 16.2. Assists per game, around 3.5. Steals, blocks, nothing too crazy, but playing well defensively. And then 3-point percentage. If he could be in the 40s this season, that would be an incredible boost. And the reason I skipped rebounding is because it's the thing I want to talk about the most. Up there, 7.5 rebounds per game. That is the most important part of Jonathan Kuminga's game. When he's rebounding the ball well, he's playing better. When he's rebounding the ball better, our team plays better. There is just an aura and an essence to the game that rebounding impacts, especially when we're playing with those small ball lineups. We need Kuminga to be a guy who's consistently picking up rebounds on both sides of the ball. He has done that to start the season so far, shooting the 3-ball well. Turnovers need to drop a little bit under the 2 mark. I don't love to see him averaging 2.5 turnovers per game, but decision-making has been significantly better. So this is it, folks. This could be the year. In fact, I think this is the year based on the way that we're playing so far to start the season. And undeniably, there is a lot of talent in the league this year. This is going to be the craziest MVP race we've ever seen. Shea, Jokic, Giannis, Wemby, Steph, Luka, all playing at the top of their game. All of them basically with 40 performances to start the season. So you understand that this is going to be a crazy year. But guess what? What wins out when there's a lot of craziness and chaos towards the end of the season? What wins out? Age, from the sense of being veterans and having experience at that level. Draymond and Steph and Jimmy and Al Horford. Those guys have played more playoff games than just about anybody in the league. So when we get to that position, you saw it 2 years ago against the Kings. 3 years ago against the Kings. You saw it last year against the Rockets. When we get to that position and we're playing a younger team in the playoffs, even if it goes game 7, right, if we get to that mark, we find a way to get it done because we've been there, done that. And that is one of the main reasons I think even though this team is aging, if we can find a way to get across that checkered flag and into the playoffs healthy, this team is going to be tough to beat. And then you look at the bottom of the screen with DeAnthony Melton signing that 2-year, $6 million deal as well. He's coming back soon too, folks. We'll talk about that very soon as well. Milwaukee Bucks tonight. Going to be a fun one. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. We'll catch you guys in the next one. I've been Houston Bell. You guys have been the fans. Going to be a fun year. 4-1 to kick things off. Another big game tonight. This is it, folks. The guys are playing hard for Steph Curry so far, and they're going to be playing hard for him all year long. We'll catch you guys in the next one. As always, go Dubs. Peace.